Howdy, y'all. Andy McCabe here with Claims Delegates and the Claimant Clinic podcast. Had a phone call today that I took because I had nothing else to do because it's a stormy Saturday on Mount Bachelor. So much powder, too much wind. So just sitting here waiting for the boys to get done with their competition stuff. But had a phone call. So I got a call from a guy from Tampa, Florida. And this is a homeowner who had experienced a water loss. They're actually in the middle of experiencing a water loss. And this particular homeowner had gone to the internet, found one of my videos on YouTube, found my phone number, and reached out. And he had a lot of questions, a lot of legitimate questions, a lot of questions that are important to know the answers to if you're going to have a informed, educated approach to an insurance claim. And questions like, what do we do with the contents? How do we know if it's damaged beyond repair? How long is this process going to take? Can I get any money? Can I get any money up front to help me with my moving costs and temporary housing and all this stuff? All great questions. He had a water loss 10 days ago. Why is it that I'm making this video to point out how the system has completely failed the insurance buying public. All right, so we can go 9 or 10 days into a major insurance claim. I was talking with this guy, I got some pieces and parts and figured out this is probably a $200,000 loss. Probably going to be a $25,000, $30,000 mitigation effort. And 9 days later, the homeowner has to go to the internet and call a perfect stranger from 3,000 miles away to get the answers that he needs to handle his insurance claim. Where was this semi-major franchise player in this while they're drying this place out? Where was the adjuster? Where was anyone to take some of the worry and take some of the up in the air feeling that every single homeowner has, especially when they face a major loss like this? Someone should have had that conversation by now. And it reminded me a little bit of a segment of one of the keynote speakers of last week's Verisk Exactware Elevate conference. And they're talking about the future and disruption, what's disrupting things. And one of the small little pieces of information that stuck out to me was the reason the insurance buying public is going to high-tech companies, startups, Lemonade and the like, is because they trust Silicon Valley. They trust tech more than they trust their traditional insurance company. So consumer buying patterns are going to change, and they're going to skew to the web. They're going to skew to mobile, right? I'm making this video on a mobile phone. They're going to skew to AI and automated self-service products in the insurance realm. And the existing legacy players in insurance have just completely fallen down on the job. They have every opportunity to build trust with every interaction, but with every single claim, they fail their customer. They fail to build that trust. They fail to bridge that knowledge gap that somebody who is not an insurance professional doesn't know the steps, doesn't know what's going to happen next, and isn't completely positive that they're going to get made whole. Carriers have every opportunity to build that trust, and they've chosen not to. This is not a blind spot. This is not a oops. The suggestion didn't make it up past middle management. No, this is systemic. So I don't share the rosy outlook that this particular keynote guy had about how the insurance industry can change and adapt. No, it's going to be carnage. This is going to be a slow motion train wreck, transitioning this industry into the next iteration of what it ultimately will be. So, what? We're to blame too. That's another point I wanted to make. We are to blame as contractors, as restoration contractors, right? Because that contractor could have answered all those questions, could have put that homeowner at ease, could have done any number of things to prevent that homeowner from picking up the phone and calling a public adjuster. And the guy said, well, I was told public adjusters are no good. They want to rip you off. Funny, that's coming from someone who's trying to rip you off right now. They disagree with me. Change my mind. Because the processes are in place for a reason. They're very intentional, and they're not pro-consumer. They're not pro-contractor. But even this franchise guy, this mitigation guy, he could have got that homeowner on his side at least, right? But everyone fell down. So, and this guy was legitimately confused, scared, concerned, irritated that he had to do this. He had to take it upon himself to educate himself on the process. And he said, well, what does that cost to hire you as a PA? And I said, 10%. And he said, is that negotiable? And I said, I'm going to be living this claim for the better part of a year. I'm married to this claim for the better part of a year. That time costs something. That time is not insignificant. So no, my rate is not negotiable. My 10% is not negotiable. And he said, this could take a year? I mean, I won't be in 3 months? No, sir, you won't. I'm afraid you won't. You've got a 2-story, 11-room loss with an insurance carrier who's known to say, screw you, sue me. No, you're not going to be in before Thanksgiving, I told him. And he didn't like that answer. But I think he's going to think on this for a couple days and call me back, because the reality of the situation is going to sit in. And I don't sugarcoat anything. I told him how it was and how it's going to be, because no one else in the process did that for him. So, franchise players, carrier adjusters, do you want me involved in more claims? Or do you want to service your client and take care of them? Easy fix. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Put me out of work. Do such a good job that I don't have to exist. That public adjusters don't have to exist. I dare you. Otherwise, have a great Saturday. We'll see you.